From Lord of the Rings to The Godfather, here are 10 movies that some people consider the greatest movies of all time. Spanning across multiple genres, ranging from action movies and blockbusters to art cinema and highly regarded classics. Here are 10 movies recognized in their own time for greatness and include a number of Academy Award recipients. So, grab your popcorn and follow our list of 10 movies that some people consider the greatest of all time. Number 10. 2001 A Space Odyssey. This 1968 classic sci-fi movie was directed by Stanley Kubrick and based on the short stories of Arthur C. Clarke. It begins in prehistoric times, when the appearance of an alien monolith somehow teaches a group of primates how to use tools to conduct war against each other, and then ends with a mysterious space mission with the sentient computer HAL taking over. It deals with themes of existentialism, human evolution, technology, artificial intelligence, and the possibility of extraterrestrial life. Considered scientifically accurate with pioneering special effects and beautiful imagery, the soundtrack also includes the famous The Blue Danube by Johann Strauss II. Number 9. Apocalypse Now. Released in 1979, this Francis Ford Coppola movie is about the catastrophic Vietnam War and is based upon the Joseph Conrad novel The Heart of Darkness, which is actually based in a completely different time period. It stars the likes of Marlon Brando, Robert Duvall, and Martin Sheen in its lead roles. It is about a psychotic colonel named Kurtz who penetrates to the farthest reaches of the Congo and establishes himself as a god amongst the locals. It's an almost psychedelic cruise through the darkest reaches of the human psyche and was selected for preservation in the National Film Registry as being culturally and historically significant. Number 8. Pulp Fiction. Extraordinary performances, brilliant cinematography, a great soundtrack, and groundbreaking direction. Pulp Fiction was released in 1994 and is a feast for Tarantino fans. It has a non-linear storyline built around a few short stories that come together with brilliant flashbacks, packaged with incredible dialogue. Not to mention, it resurrected a number of careers, most notably John Travolta. The story revolves around the lives of three men, the chances they take, and the choices they make, a modern-day saga of violence and redemption. The original screenplay won Tarantino an Academy Award, not to mention, the film won 50+ awards in various film festivals. Number 7. Psycho. This psychological thriller by Alfred Hitchcock was released in 1960, and most consider it the best of all his films, gaining him worldwide critical acclaim. It begins with a real estate secretary fleeing work after stealing a chunk of her employer's money, and when she's exhausted, she checks into a motel run by Norman Bates and his domineering mother. Although she later decides to return the money, she is murdered before she can do so. Psycho takes the audience through a mischievous manipulation, stirring the audience with a symbolic sense of fear rather than graphic violence, and induces shock and horror with the help of its famous score, which adds to the tension and drama. Number 6. Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Released in 1980, this sci-fi classic is considered by many to be the best of the Star Wars trilogy. It had great effects, appealing characters, and spellbinding action. The story follows the Galactic Empire under the leadership of the villainous Darth Vader and the mysterious Emperor in pursuit of Luke Skywalker and the rest of the Rebel Alliance. When Vader captures Luke's friends, Luke must decide whether to complete his training under the Jedi Master Yoda or to confront Vader and save them from certain death. Number 5. Inception. Ranked high by many for its original content, this psychological thriller and sci-fi masterpiece from director Christopher Nolan is about a thief who possesses the power to enter the subconscious minds of his targets and steal secrets and ideas that even the best of hackers cannot. The strong and powerful also have their weaknesses that can be used against them. Cobb, who's played by the great Leonardo DiCaprio, sets on a mission in a desperate quest for his own redemption. What this movie accomplishes and what he does is different and is absolutely fascinating, which leaves you contemplating what happened long after the credits roll. Number 4. Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. This fantasy adventure film that was released in 2003 redeems the Ring trilogy by J.R.R. Tolkien and stands out for its narrative style, breathtaking visuals, and a thundering climax. With stellar performances and battle scenes sketched to perfection, it is a master of the fantasy genre, ultimately winning 11 Oscars. Protagonists Sam and Gollum make their way to Mount Doom to destroy the One Ring, while Gandalf, Aragorn, and the rest join forces against the evil Sauron. Number 3. The Shawshank Redemption. The Shawshank Redemption is simply one of the best films ever made. Released in 1994, it is based on a Stephen King story about two imprisoned men in a maximum security prison who show the other inmates how perseverance and hope in the most difficult circumstances is really their only chance at getting out. The partnership between the characters Andy and Red, played by Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman, is crucial to the way the story unfolds. Nominated for 7 Academy Awards, this movie has reached a cult status over time. Number 2. The Godfather. Released in 1972, The Godfather is one of Hollywood's greatest critical and commercial successes, setting new benchmarks for the industry. Its famous dialogues are repeated even to this day, made immortal by veterans like Marlon Brando and Al Pacino. It follows the story of a Sicilian immigrant family, headed by a man of strong spirit, but also a cruel gangster called the Don. The movie provides interesting insights into the father-son relationship, coupled with brilliant performances and an elegant Italian soundtrack that make this gangster movie a timeless masterpiece. Number 1. The Dark Knight. Christopher Nolan's sequel is a disturbing masterpiece and a great artistic achievement for the comic book genre. Released in 2008, it's praised as the best Batman movie of them all, and the sequel continues the adventure of Bruce Wayne, who's played by Christian Bale, as a playboy businessman in public while secretly taking to the streets as Batman at night. The wild card entry is the Joker, of course, who's played by Heath Ledger, who actually won an Oscar after his death for his iconic portrayal. From Lord of the Rings to The Godfather, this is 10 movies that some people consider the greatest of all time. What do you think? What movies did we not include on the list that we should have? Let us know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like our video, and hey, don't forget to subscribe.